Alex built a $65 mortgage business with no LOA, one processor, and strict money rules designed for a cyclical industry. This is how he actually lives and thinks.
Alex Hernandez, I'm so honored to have you with us today. You have been in the President Club 7 years in a row now. Your best year, you did 85 million. That was with a big team. This year, you're going to close the year with $65 million, no LOA. Last year, you did $45 million, again, with no LOA. Your team is just you and one processor. And you're doing all of this while having multiple other businesses like Rate Update, which I'm really excited to talk about today, owning a storage facility, doing flips, and doing hard money loans on the side. And you became a millionaire when you were just 28 years old. You're currently 31 years old. And the biggest achievement of all, you're married with 2 beautiful kids and a dog. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited to chat with you and grateful for the opportunity.
Oh, man, the honor is all ours. And is there anything you don't do? You're doing it all. Like, what do you not do?
There's a lot that I don't do well. I promise you that much, man. There is a lot that I don't do well. But the last decade of my life, I've just kind of been obsessed with my little niche and what I've been kind of hammering down. And it's crazy just how fast time goes, Sam. Like I can remember very distinctly my first year in the business, 2018. I did $1.2 million alone in a whole year. Like in a whole year, I made $24,000 my first year in the business.
When was this?
That was in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, 2018. So that was my first year in the business, and then every year after that, we've grown, right? I mean, and then we had a really massive year during the COVID years when rates were zero, and then just like everybody else, the bottom fell out, and there was a big opportunity for all of us to look in the mirror and be like, okay, well, what is it that we want in this business? What kind of business do I want? How do I want to operate my business? How do I want to conduct myself? And for the last 2 or 3 years, we've just been building back up a new way, right? Like completely different than I've done in the past. And it's been so rewarding, and I'm excited to talk to you about that.
Amazing. There's so much to unpack and talk about today. I want to first talk about, like, what does life look like for a 31-year-old entrepreneur, millionaire with a great family? Like, what is your day-to-day like?
Man, there's so many days, especially recently. My wife and I built a spec house this last year. We were going to sell this as an investment, and we just had a hard time getting rid of it. We ended up moving into this house, and it's a beautiful home. And specifically over the last 4 or 5 months, I've been looking around my life. I see my kids are healthy. I look at my business, I look at my health, I look at my wife's health. And there's been so many pinch me moments, to be honest, Sam. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I just look around and I'm like, even just a couple years ago, this is what I've wanted. This is what I've worked so hard for. And it's really surreal to finally be in a position to just be like, wow, like we're not there. I still have so many more goals to achieve, which we'll talk about. But my day-to-day is very simple, right? And it's very, 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 very low key. I don't live this crazy lifestyle where like I go partying on the weekends. I'm traveling around. I'm not jet setting, right? Like the phase of life that I'm in right now is I got a 4-year-old, I got a 5-year-old. I wake up every morning, I go work out in my home gym. We've since COVID, I've been building a gym in my garage and just adding pieces and things like that. So I work out at home every day. I get my kids breakfast. I take them to school, and then I'm typically in the office by 8 a.m. Right. And so that 8 a.m. to 9 o'clock hour is so vital for me and my business, kind of setting the day right on what are my intentions for that day? What am I achieving? What are my high alert files? Like, what are things that have to be done today? What are things who are we pre-approving? Who am I following up with today? And I know you're very familiar with time blocking, Sam. I do a very, very loose kind of time blocking. I've just built my lifestyle and around my work. I'm just like, okay, like I kind of work all the time, and I know that's not ideal for everybody, but it's worked for me. And honestly, I like it. Like I find so much peace. Like even when I go out on vacation, like I just find a little bit of peace checking in with my team, my processor, making sure just things are rocking and rolling. Like I feel happy. That's my happy place, even while traveling. And I know that's not, some people listen to that and they're like, dude, that's disgusting. Like I want to turn my phone off. I want to be away from my business. But I revolve my entire world around it, kind of. And I'm very blessed to have a wife that understands, right? I'm very, very blessed. And she doesn't shut me down. She's not like, hey, babe, it's 5 o'clock. It's time to put the phone down. Like, she knows there's sometimes I got to jump on a quick call. There's opportunities I've got to jump on, and I don't jump on every single one. But she supports me in that. And like, hey, go take care of business, right? Go handle it. And so I will say just my day to day is around my family and around work, and that's really it. And like, very, very simple, this phase of life that I'm in right now.
That's a really good place to be. And what I really like is the clarity that you have on what brings you peace and what you like. I was actually talking to a loan officer, a great friend of mine, big producer as well, does about $60 million a year. And he was driving himself crazy, not working. And he was like, he was trying to force, like, I'm successful. I have to not work. I have to work less. And I'm like, are you happy? He's like, no, I like working too much. So like at the end of the call, our conversation, he's like, you know what? I like working. I don't need to force it a certain way. So everyone's so different. Some people find peace in not working and having the free time. Some people find peace in actually working. Some people find peace just being aware of what's going on. So no one size fits all.
Yeah. Was
your wife always understanding of you working, or was it something that you guys worked on together?
She was always pretty understanding, but it helps that I've been with my wife for 10 years. I mean, so before I started doing loans, I started doing loans when I was 23 years old. My wife and I have been together since 2014, right? And so it's been, she likes me enough to stick around, which she's crazy to do. But when we first started talking, this is 2014, I've always been interested in business. I've always been interested in kind of more the unconventional route from a career standpoint. Like, I want to start businesses. I want to be involved. And so I've always had that mentality of like, hey, like, I will work as much as I need to work to take care and provide and achieve the goals that we want to achieve. And so she saw that from a very early age, and she saw that when we first started dating, and she just supported it. She was like, yeah, I got you, like, whatever you need. And, I remember this was probably like in 2020, I made a joke to her, 2022, maybe. I was like, Sam, I was saying this to my wife. I was like, you just like me for my money. And this is even before that. This is before we had anything. And she was like, what money are you talking about? You ain't got no money, right? And so anyway, it's like, she's always been kind of ride or die. She's always been supportive. But I will say this, if someone's watching this podcast right now and they're listening to this, it's not without the fact that I had to communicate that to her as well. Too many men in relationships, this is not a relationship advice or podcast by any means, but I will say not enough men and women communicate their needs enough verbally, and they don't build reinforcement around those actions. And so like, I always just made sure I overly communicated to her, hey, I got to go jump on this call right now. Are you okay with this? I need to take care of it. It'll maybe take me 25 minutes. She was always cool, right? And then I always just made sure, and like, I just overly communicated that. And then I try to find balance. And it's hard. That's a very difficult thing to do. And I've always said I'm blessed because I've got friends that are also in the business that their wives aren't supportive. Like, it's 4:30 and they're like, we need you to come home. Like, we need you and we need all of you. And so like, I have sympathy for that. I understand. I've just been very blessed that she's enabled me to be able to just be me and do what I want to do. But it's taken a lot of communication and reinforcement, and it still does to this day.
Wow, that's fantastic. Finding the right person can really help your business, but the key thing, anyone can be the right person with the right communication. I do believe that. I'm not 100%, but generally speaking. Yeah. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now that, like, by all measures, you're very successful. I know your ambition is really big, and I want to dig into that, but like, by all measures, like, traditionally, you're a very successful person. What are your day-to-day concerns now?
I mean, it's still around money. I mean, it's, no matter how much money you have, like, and it's not necessarily from like, I want to go buy another thing. I want to go buy another car. I want to go buy another property. But really what I think about, Sam, and this has been because I've worked with thousands of homeowners at this point in my career. And I'm fearful. I'm fearful of being 65 years old, 75 years old, and completely being a burden on my family, my kids specifically, right? And so I work with homeowners, older folks all the time. And, they're 65, 70 years old and they don't have retirement accounts. They don't have any money and they're just kind of stuck. That scares me, to be honest. And so like I've always like felt like, okay, like there's still so much more to do. And specifically putting myself in a position that I'm not reliant on, or I'm not a burden on my kids in 40 years, God willing, right? Let's say I'm healthy and everyone's healthy and happy. I just that's my concern now, to be honest. And here's the thing, Sam, like I'll tell you, I'm pretty transparent for the most part with my finances, but right now over the next 12 months, my one goal, aside of my production goals, but that's to pay off my storage facility, right? So I've got a storage facility that's worth, this facility is probably worth $1.8 million. It generates $130,000 a year in revenue. And it's very, very, very affordable to operate, like maybe $1,100 a month in management cost, right? So it's very, very manageable. Storage is such a fantastic vehicle for real estate. Now it's a business. It's not just something like a rental you can just set it and forget it. Now, the reason I bring this up, Sam, is because over the next 12 months, my goal is to pay that off. Right? So 80% of the dollars that I earn go directly to paying off that debt. Right? And here's why. Going back to your original question is, what am I fearful of? I'm fearful that this all will go away. Right? And we've seen the cycles. And I'm not Mr. Doom and Gloom. I'm very optimistic. There's so much to be made in our business. Like name another industry where you don't have to have a college degree, you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to do brain surgery, and you can make high 6 figures or low 7 figures a year in earnings. Like there isn't anything out there. And so this is a fantastic vehicle to be in. But again, I know this is a long-winded answer. I'm fearful that one day I'm going to be 65 years old and I blew all my money. And it's so easy to do. $500,000, $250,000 a year, that's a lot of money subjectively. It absolutely is. But if you don't manage it correctly, it can all be gone like that. And so I think about that, and I'm an advocate to everyone saying, look, like buy the things you want. You work your butt off to live in the home you want, buy the car you want, but do it and manage your debt, pay your debt off. Don't over leverage yourself, and be disciplined in your finances. And so that's what honestly, I think about that every day, every night. Like I obsess over like, okay, well, what money's coming in? Where are we allocating it? And hopefully in 10 years from now and 5 years from now, we'll be in a position where I can not have to worry about that as much.
I'm really glad what you brought up with personal finances. I'll even share my own experience. I thought when I became a millionaire or when I hit my money numbers, like all my stress would go away. And I'll be honest, to a degree, it did. But it wasn't hitting the number. The thing that actually put my money worries at ease was having a large reserve number. Like that made me more at peace than a net worth, or even like a certain monthly income. More than anything else was that reserves. And I'm a big proponent of no debt for anyone that is in a risky profession. And we are risky because it's cyclical, like every year, and then generally like up and down in the market.
Yep.
And also it's something that, because we take such a big portion of the income, most companies are trying to get rid of us. So we don't know what the future will look like in 10 to 15 years. And neither one of us is a doom or gloom kind of person. I think we'll be here for a very long time. It's just, you want to be prepared for the worst side. So, and the best way to do that is no debt, a ton of reserves, and invest the rest. And like you said, enjoy your life. Have toys, enjoy your labor, but do it in a safe way. Don't bet the house so you can have a little bit of fun.
Exactly. I love that.